think today would be best for me to go out to the airport lot, move some things around in preparation for me to be able to use the Lull to load the trailer. Now that the trailer is good to go, I think it's time to attack that airport lot and get it a little more manageable, get some of those scrap cars out of the way so that I can have it a little more usable. Plus, a little influx of cash may be a good thing. So let's get the tow truck fired up and head out to the airport. I have already learned that the best way to start this process is to put gas in the carb. So before I even turn it over, that's what I'm gonna do. Also want to make sure that our rust liquid that frequently pours itself all over the engine is at a good level. Looks surprisingly less rusty than usual, but I can't quite tell the level. Okay, we increased our rust liquid levels to the appropriate amount. We have some gasoline in the carburetor. Let's see how she does. Okay, I'm already gonna add some more gasoline to the carburetor. Round 2, commencing. It's more promising. Let's see what happens when we run that gas out of the float bowl. Maybe it'll be good to go. Another thing that I noticed the last time I was using the truck is that the hydraulics were moving super slow, and usually that's because it's low. So let's put some hydraulic fluid in there and hope for the best. That's good. marina and get some gas to make sure that we have enough for the day. And then we'll move some cars around. Let's get to it. There's always a cost for looking this good. No, I'm just kidding. Shout out to those who watch the shorts. Let's go get some junk. I believe today's mission will be to gain access to this avenue to get back to the stacked vehicles, to unstack them back there. Not these stacked vehicles. Those are super secure and safe. Those ones, less so. So we've got only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vehicles to move to get back there. No big deal. And then we'll go get the Lull. I think that caravan is going to be the first one on the chopping block. Hello, friend. Been a while since I've seen this peach. First thing we need is a little bit of diesel. And then we'll get to go for a cruise. Uh-oh, I hear Scotty G. He just gave me a ride out here, so if he's coming back. Oh, it's not Scotty G. It's the Lull owner himself. Right, one can down. get the picture. There we go, ready for a ride. Try to set the rear wheels be parallel with the frame rail. Look relatively close to me. Maybe forward a little bit, forward in a little bit. We've got Scotty G out here who wants the rear axle out of this van. So let's get it out so we can do that. I'm going somewhere, so I'm going in and out of, look like up here too. Unfortunately, the rear axle was a bust for Scotty G. He had to leave it. bolts were rounded off and they wouldn't come out. But because he's such a nice man, he cut out the catalytic converter for me. So at least that's done. We gotta put it on the trailer now. But I also need to get some dinner before the grocery store closes. So we'll be back. So when you're doing projects like these, you want to make sure that you use a lot of finesse and that you're very careful, because you don't want to damage anything at all. It's really important that you keep everything in nice shape. Well, unfortunately, the way that I loaded it, the rear spring is right on the blocks. So I think I need to shift this weight forward a little bit, because our front axle is way a ways. So we'll do a load shift. Crabby Painters here.
Crabby Painter, just like the hat says.
Yeah, that's right. Here, we better get a close-up on that. There we go.
Truth in advertising.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna assess the situation here. We've got the Dakota. I need to do more research because I believe the Dakota maybe would have a frame that I could use. I mean, it's two-wheel drive.
It is. I'm not a Dodge guy, but
I am a Dodge guy. So, I don't know. We might keep the Dakota for a while. We're not going to trash it just yet. We'll see. I got to do some more research to find out if that's worth saving as a custom frame at all. But then we're going to get the Taurus off of the top of the Mazda. The Mazda is going to go. The Taurus is going to go. Hopefully, the Volvo is going to go. The Horizon is going to go. The F-150 is going to stay for now, but it's going to be resituated. The Toyota truck is going to stay for now. The Camry wagon is going to go. I can put my finger through the chassis on this side. Well, I'm stronger. Change copper maybe. that was easy. All right, well, it's just about dark, but we got a lot done, which is good. And I have a dirt mustache, which is cool. But sometimes that's how the day goes. Sometimes you reach dark and you have a dirt mustache. At least we'll be able to get rid of one tomorrow. We got that going for us. Scrapyard stopped taking unprepared vehicles, so luckily my guys at D&M helped me out and bought the van. Well, we got rid of our crap box van off the trailer. Figured what better way to celebrate than to go for a little flight. We have our pre-flight taken care of. Now it's time to move on to our pre-starting checklist, and then we'll get up in the air. Well, we landed safe at Eagle River. It's a beautiful flight. Another airport that I've never been to before. Let's go sign in. Well, a quick stop to get our over 50 miles cross country. Check our fuel. Looks like we only used about 10, if that. Same in there. Alright, here we go. Let's fly back. Another safe and beautiful flight. What a fun day. After the unfortunate discovery that my favorite salvage yard is no longer taking unprepared cars, I need to change the plan a little bit from what it was. A moment of silence. I think what's going to be best is to shove the ones that I took out of here back in, stacked in a different way, not sideways anymore, so that the only machine that I could use would be the Lull. I'm going to put them in forward in lines so that I can use the tow truck or the trailer. When scrap price goes up, I can prepare them. And if scrap price never goes up, then maybe I'll never prepare them. At one time, the plan was to keep the project cars that I wanted to build one day safe and protected in the back of the lot. This is also the closest I've been to them since I made that decision. And there are some good project cars back there, hiding, waiting. So I think what I'm gonna do is take them out, bring them closer to the front, and then shove the junkers in lines all the way back in here. You can tell it's a really well thought out plan, and it's really what I want to do today. Okay, here we go. This F-150 is gonna need to be picked up by the Lull. This Toyota, when it went there, the frame was not cracked. Now the frame is cracked in half. I doubt that's gonna come out in one piece. That remains to be seen. I'd like to get the utility truck square body out of there. I'd like to take the Buick. I'd like to take the Pontiac and possibly bring this Dodge Meadowbrook forward so that it's more accessible. The Plymouth Cranbrook, I've done a lot of metal work too. I think that's gonna have to stay there because I don't really want to move that van, but that van has a 9-inch in it, so I'm not gonna scrap that 9-inch. Oh boy, enough talk.
Definitely tearing it apart. There's no frame here anymore.
Well, we'll make it smaller pieces.
There you go. You might have structural muffler.
Well, I got the marquee from a guy when it was kind of breaking in half. And wouldn't you know, if you let a car sit for 20 years, it breaks in half even more. Well, this wasn't necessarily the first project that I wanted to haul onto the trailer, but it's not a terrible one. This 61 Buick I got because it has a nail head that I want to put in a Model A, and it also has the finned aluminum drums that I want to put on a Model A axle. We should be all set up. I've got my jumper cables running from the truck back here to the winch. Got the winch plugged in, stretched out, hooked up to the Buick. This front tire was losing air pretty rapidly, so I'm gonna wait to fill up the front tire until I get started. And I went to try and lift this Pontiac. Went to try and put this Pontiac on the trailer yesterday, and these front wheels are locked up. So as soon as those front wheels hit the ramps, they tipped the front of the ramps up, and then it went up and over the lip. And so the ramps were just getting pushed up onto the trailer. I think I've got an idea in the future to fabricate some pins that'll go down here and hold the ramps in place. But for now, I just C-clamped them because I need to get this done before I go work at the boats today. And on this car, the front is spinning well, but the rear tires are locked up. So I didn't want to get to the point where I had it halfway on the trailer and then have the ramps tip up when I've got the rear tires going on. So we'll put some air in this tire and see how she goes. Can already tell. Might need a little bit more strength in these. Angle iron themselves are okay, but the trailer itself is flexing. Do a little bit right hand down. We're drifting. It's going to make things difficult. Son of a... I mean, excuse my French. Let's see, how is that going to be remedied? Maybe pivot the trailer after the front gets on there. Some more, I guess. Figured if this didn't get you to turn around, nothing would.
No, you got my Buick out. You looked at this car close?
Kind of close. I mean, I looked at it when I bought it, but it was in different shape then.
I mean, the little eyebrows
Yeah.
over the lights, these lines, this line, and it's a flat top with the wraparound rear window. Not as big as the 59s. But this would look so good as a two-door flat top.
Right.
Two-door flat top.
I remember you saying that's what you wanted to turn it into.
And it's got those cool knuckle taillights. I mean, they did a nice job. It's still designed.
Right.
Yeah.
The rear wheels are locked up, and so I had to re-pivot the trailer to have it better.
Sorry.
But as I was dragging it onto the trailer, it was drifting to the point where the whole right end was off the side.
Yay.
Yeah.
It's parts. And it's got a cool dash. And it's got that gimmicky, you know, it's got a cool steering wheel, the dish in.
Right.
It's got that gimmicky speedometer.
With the mirror.
Which started in '59, I think. Where you can adjust the angle of the speedometer.
Right.
It's a cool car. And it would be cooler as a two-door, flat top, hard top,
Right.
or something. And when you look at it, when you look at the side, it's straight lines.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you tried to, it's doable.
Right.
It's definitely doable. Yeah, I like it. I can see it as a long-term project in my shop.
Right. Well, my aluminum finned brakes are turning just fine.
Well, glad to hear it.
But I need my rear to follow suit. It's drifting the right way. Would you mind steering for me?
No, I don't mind.
Think we could do to the right.
This tire's flat.
Here, I can put some more air in it.
There's a light coming through the floor of the rocker.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's coming from, well, there was a minute where it was sealed up. Gash in the sidewall.
Move up a little.
We're drifting right over the edge again.
The back wheel on this side is on the ramp.
We're about to lose this side.
Yeah, I'm gonna start losing this side too.
What if you try winching in and I'll try pushing on this quarter panel? Well, we got it with the help of Crabby Painter.
My pleasure.
And the tow truck. We kept drifting, this rear end kept drifting off of the trailer, so we were going to lose it off of the ramps. So we had to lift it up and push it on with the tow truck. Multi-pronged effort, but we got it. That's the important thing. Now I can go live on the trailer at home until I get the rest of my life sorted out.